Oh, hi. I was just going over my notes from the show. This is the third in the series of interviews with Tobe Brockner, where we're talking about everything you always wanted to know about virtual assistants, but maybe didn't know who to ask. And it was so nice to be reminded that we talked about the correlation between having a virtual assistant, having a system and a process for a successful relationship, and Lift as You Climb, because they're both about empowering and building success ladders. So today, we're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about how to defy time. We're going to talk about how you successfully reduce your work hours and expand your ability to have more time, free time, quality time to do the things you want to do when you and your virtual assistant are in sync. So check it out. And don't forget, if there's someone else that you want to empower, share these episodes with them so they'll know all about how to have a virtual assistant successfully. Okay, see you on the flip side. Couldn't be a better alignment or reminder that the name of this podcast is Lift as You Climb. And that's my guiding compass in life, that we have a responsibility to become the best version of ourselves, but B, while we're building our own success ladders, we can reach back and empower others to create their own success ladders. And totally coincidental that you have the program, but empowerment it's how I roll. And I think the more that we do, as I said, to constantly be pushing ourselves to be better, and if that means up-leveling our skills and our capacity by adding the right people to our team, that helps us to create more value in the world and for others. And I love the fact that this is reciprocity in its best example by doing this together. Okay, so we're talking about that it's not just altruistic. We're not trying to just make the lives of people in another country better, but it makes our lives better. And you're a prime example of that, through your own experience of learning how to optimize working with your virtual assistants, you've created more time, more freedom, more flexibility in your life, which again that's my jam. That's what I do for my clients that are holding so tight to that entrepreneurial steering wheel. Maybe they've been building a business for 20, 30 more years and have gotten into that habit of this is how it's done. And as a result of that, with the complexity of the world continuing to increase, they have less time, less freedom. In fact, they've just blown up pretty much all of the motives for why they started a business in the first place. We want to create more for ourselves, our families, whoever matters to us. Thinking about my own experience here, relating that to the audience, I struggled, I'll be very honest, in the beginning with feeling like I needed to keep them busy and needed to mirror their schedule with mine. And of course, that didn't work. Could you share a bit of how you train your clients to work with the VAs when they're in opposing time zones?
Yeah, there's some different strategies that we use. I think for me, personally, my biggest strategy is to discard the antiquated 9 to 5 model. I don't really subscribe to that work framework anymore. You go to work, you punch your clock at 9, and you come home at 5, and you're done. I don't buy into that anymore. Essentially instituted by Henry Ford as an employee benefit. He built his factories and said, hey, instead of working from 8 a.m. until 10 p.m. every day, which was customary, that's what people were doing. They were just being worked to death. He said, you're only going to have to work for me from 9 to 5. And that became the norm. But that was 100 years ago. We don't have to be bound by those things anymore.
Well,
And
just
so,
on that topic, since you introduced this, because I think this is a fun fact that everybody may not be aware of. Henry was a pretty smart man. Wow.
mhm,
Not only did he realize that he could retain, attract, keep the best workers by treating them more humanely and giving them a scheduled a working hour that allowed them to see their family and get some rest. But he also created his own marketplace by giving them the weekends off. He reduced their working hours, he paid them more, and he gave them weekends off. And now that they had weekends off and a little disposable income, they could buy a car.
yep. It goes back to what you were saying, is that it's not necessarily altruistic in nature in all ways. It's a lot of times it's pragmatic. You treat your clients right because it's the right thing to do, but it's also good business. It pays to be honest, to have integrity and all. So even if you don't believe in any of that, you should do it anyway because it's pragmatic. It makes the most sense for you to get ahead in life and in business. So going back to the how do we manage the times? So in our time zone, mountain time zone right now, and this will change as springtime rolls around, but right now we are 14 hours behind the Philippines. What we try to do, some of our clients, they have to have VAs who work what would be the virtual assistants graveyard shift. They work overnight, but it's U.S. daytime hours, and there's a variety of reasons for that. They have to answer customer service phone calls, or they have to file reports at a certain time, various things like that. I try my best to discourage clients from requiring graveyard shift work, just because there are so many studies that show how detrimental it is to mental health and how doing it for long periods of time, the circadian rhythm gets totally messed up when you flip that script. We try to discourage clients from doing that if possible. Most of the time, most people don't care. They don't need, if somebody's going to be creating social media content, what difference does it make if it's at 3 p.m. or 3 a.m.? It doesn't matter. As long as it gets created and posted and scheduled, it's fine. And most clients are like that, and they have that sort of mentality and that mindset. What we try to do is we build in some sort of overlap. For me, 5 p.m. my time, mountain time, is the start time for a lot of our VAs, which is 7 a.m. Filipino time the next morning. My Monday evening at 5 p.m., my VAs are just waking up Tuesday morning at 7 a.m. and getting going. And so I build in that little bit of overlap at the end of my workday, where during the day, as I've gone along, I've been taking notes of different initiatives. Just yesterday, this is a great example. Valentine's Day is coming up. I'm not sure when this is going to be released, but Valentine's Day is coming up, and we are running an ad. I had an idea for a Facebook ad, and it was a picture of a man and a woman at dinner, and obviously in love. And then there was a Cupid above shooting an arrow into the woman. And we labeled the man as you, the woman as your business, and Cupid is your VA. And the tagline was fall in love with your business again. So I had this idea. I'm not a graphic designer. I don't know how to create any of that stuff, but I jotted it down. I made a note. And so when my graphic designer, Ivan, logged on, and my marketing manager, Jelly is her name, when they logged on at 5 p.m., they check in with me on Skype. They say, hey, we're logging on now. And I sent them that note. And I said, this is an idea I have. Ivan went to work on it. I woke up the next morning with a batch of draft content, really clever, funny, cute ads that were all this riff on that original idea. The first one was my original idea of what it was, and then the other 3 or 4 or 5 were Ivan's creative brain sort of, hey, what if we do this? And what if we make, instead of the Cupid, it's the flowers are your VA, and he's handing them to whatever. So we came up with this, and we worked together that way. But we had that overlap where I was able to explain the concept to him, get the idea, and pitch it off to him. Just last night, we have a client who he needed a marketing flyer to hand to the presidents of franchises. So we have this pretty big opportunity right now where we can get VAs placed into these franchises, and this could mean ultimately hundreds of VAs placed for us. So we're in a time crunch. I got to get this marketing flyer done. Ivan logs on. I had already written the copy for it during the day, sent it over to him, said, hey, let's work on this. My copy was 3 pages long. I was like, I need you to fit this on 1 page. He Skypes me and goes, hey, can we talk? I don't know if I can do this the way you want it. So we jump on Zoom, go through it. We eliminated some things, moved them around. He was able to create it. And then he worked on it that evening, sent it over to me about 8 o'clock last night. I took a quick little look at it while I was watching Breaking Bad and sipping on some bourbon. Didn't really bother me that he was sending me work. This looks great. Send it off. And he finalized it, and I was able to send it over to the client. They're leaving out of town tomorrow and they can take it with them. So now I'm able to get this done because of that overlap. And by being a little bit flexible, like I harp on autonomy and free time, but I'm also realistic about it. You have to carve out the time. You have a team. This isn't a Ron Popeil rotisserie oven. You set it and forget it. These are human beings that are dynamic and have things pop up, and you need to be able to respond, but you don't have to be a slave to it either. And so you just have to work out that balance. And I generally will get up. I should be ashamed to say, but I'm not. I don't care. I don't apologize to anybody for this. I get up 9, 10, 11 o'clock sometimes in the morning because I work from around noon until 9 or 10 at night. I'm on call. Even though I'm not necessarily working, I'm communicating with my VAs. My life's a little bit different because we have a team. We have 6 internal VAs at Katuva, but we also have all of the VAs for our clients that necessarily need support and attention. Yeah.
Toby, I think Henry Ford would agree with us. It's not a 9 to 5 world anymore. It's a very global world, and it's a dynamic world where we are using technology. We're working with people everywhere around the world, and our clients, like mine, are also around the world. Isn't that really, again, why we are in business? Because we get to set our own schedule. And if I want to, as I have recently, taken off and gone to Bali for a month, I automatically have a different time zone. So my 9 to 5 over there would be different anyway. So when an idea, like your inspiration, by the way, we are, for everybody listening, we are recording this the week before Valentine's in the United States, and it will air around Valentine's. But, but what you've shared here is so beautifully evergreen for everybody, Toby, because this is the reality. The world is changing. And if we want to be successful and enjoy our business and feel like we've got the impact that we want, then being creative, letting go of the old paradigms, finding different ways to achieve different results is what it's about. That's why I so wholeheartedly recommend VAs, because you can do this. I, like you, like I'm an early bird. I'm up between 4 and 5 a.m. So it's nice. I touch base with my VA that is the new addition on my team now, who's taking care of my bookkeeping and finance stuff, because she works a split shift, and that's her choice because of her lifestyle. My other VA, who is almost a full-time person, because of her family and other employees, she chooses to work a later shift in the Philippines. So we cross over for about 4 hours a day, which gives us a different kind of working relationship. And thanks to what you set us up to work with, I'm now getting more fluent with ClickUp. Loom is another tool that you introduced me to, which I love, because when I have something that I don't want to, or it's not convenient for me to create a long form document, I simply share the screen, the tab that I'm looking at on, whether it's Drive or Dropbox or Chrome, and create a little video where I can say exactly what I want to my team members. That saves me a great deal of time, and I feel it also creates more of a personal connection. And of course, because of all of this, we also have follow-up. So if there's ever any question about, I don't know, did I do that correctly? They don't have to wait till the next day to talk to me. They just rewind the video and oh yeah, that's what she meant. Bravo, there's lots to do differently. And whether that means you choose to work when the sun is up or down or on different days than Monday to Friday, it's all optional. I hope you thought that was another great and resourceful interview with Tobe, and that you're already thinking about how this information is transforming your life and business for the better. I'd also like to say thank you so much to the VAs on Toby's team and mine, and all the others out there waiting to help you have one great whole life. So stay tuned for upcoming episodes and more information. And of course, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any episodes, and to like, follow, and share with everyone else.